Well, I don't think the word retire is even in the vocabulary of my guest from Newmarket. Dr. Timothy Starr, that's a doctor of ministry, is the president of Christian Seniors in Action. He's also director of seniors at the People's Church in Toronto. He's been a pastor and for many years has assisted individuals and couples in domestic situations, divorces and remarriages. Married for 63 years to the woman he met on a streetcar, on your way to different churches.
That's right.
What a great plot. Congratulations. Yeah. And you're not shy about your age, Timothy.
Oh, why should I be?
Go ahead.
I'm 87.
That's wonderful. Just wonderful. And you've had a growing passion for a growing problem, a growing reality in our culture.
That's right. Yes.
This is your first book, and some of you may remember Timothy being here with Remarried, Happily Ever After, and now this one, great cover. Talk about real life. Help! I'm a step parent. 19 real life stories. 64% of remarriages,
that's right,
divorce.
Divorce. Very high rate. It's pathetic.
Do you know what percentage of those failures are the result of the children?
85%.
Really?
So difficult for an adult to accept a child that's not his. And it's hard for children to have this strange lady or this strange man come and live in their home. This is my home. What are you doing here?
I think of the woundedness of a marriage breakup,
yes,
a family breakup,
yes,
and the need for sure love and for stability, and everybody's competing for it. That has to be a huge issue. You understand it, Timothy, because
I was raised in a home where at the age of 9, Mom and Dad divorced. I can remember them fighting. Sometimes I would cover my ears. I couldn't stand to hear them scolding and yelling. And then I remember after the divorce how Mother would date different men, come in for a meal. They look at me and I would look at them, and as I look back on those days, I'm not very pleased, but that's part of life when couples go through a divorce and remarry.
This book has really outlined clearly, I mean, there's 19 real life stories.
Yes.
Which is so helpful.
Actual stories. Yeah.
Knowing that you're not alone, that others are dealing with some of the same issues, but the practical help for problems faced by parents entering a second marriage. Let's get those out first.
Very good. Number one is that many of these parents don't take time to mourn their divorce. Do I make sense there? Yeah. Within 6 to 12 months, they're into marriage again. They say, well, I've been married, so I know all about it. But they don't. And they haven't stopped to evaluate what happened. And that's very sad. Number two, I think that couples sometimes don't take time to know each other. Someone said that some couples will take more time looking for a new car than for a new spouse. Sometimes people are so anxious to get that wedding ring that they really haven't taken into time the whole matter of remarriage, and they don't seem to realize, number three, will this man or this woman be good
for my children? That you say assimilate the children. Sometimes it's just the partner they're after.
It's a real problem on that part, yes.
And the fourth point, patience when the ex visits. Those can be pretty tense connections.
Especially if there's a negative relationship between the two. Like here was a father coming to pick up his kids. he heard that his wife was going to date a man that night at 7 o'clock. So instead of coming at 6, he waited until 7 o'clock, just to be mean. Or another case where a mother knew her that after he picked up the kids, they were going to have a big meal, go out for a nice restaurant. So she fed them just before he came. Well, you can appreciate the feeling between people. It's really difficult when two adults who once loved each other are at odds with each other. You feel for them.
And you're very clear on the impact of divorce on children. But if this is the reality, how do we encourage the children?
My, that's a big question, because 85% of second marriages fail due to children. When I am going to have a couple with children, I try to encourage the children to participate in the wedding service. I try to ask them to consider, now mommy is going to have a new husband. He won't be your father. No one can replace your father. But try to at least go halfway. And number 3, you're a Christian. Pray much for this new relationship. God can do wonders through prayer. And remember what it says in Psalm 29, God gives his people strength. I like that verse.
I just read yesterday, we can endure anything if we depend on God for everything.
Amen. That's so true. Yeah. I think the other verse that I like is Proverbs 11, where it says, without planning, the marriage fails. You like that thought? Without planning, the marriage fails. And this is one of the ways that these marriages fail.
Biological grandparents.
Oh,
you start to get a whole raft of them, don't you?
Big issue. Oh, that's a big issue. We encourage the biological mother or dad not to let the children lose sight of their biological grandfather, grandmother, aunts, uncles. It's important to maintain
normalcy.
Right.
I mean, forgive me for filling.
No,
I'm just
no, that's true.
something stable, something remains of all this breakage.
Yes. And so it's important to keep that in mind. Have granddad in for dinner and grandma. Remember their special days. Maybe at Christmas time, try to do something special with their grandparents.
Keep those connections.
You keep the connections, yeah.
So much grace needed. Everybody has to give room.
Yes.
Give room, or the tensions make it all impossible.
Yeah.
Moving to the family home, his, hers, how do you sort that out, starting new?
That's a $1,000 question. Sometimes it's better to move into the home of the wife with the children, because then the kiddies don't have to leave school.
They're in their same neighborhood.
Right, all that.
Friends.
On the other hand, visualize the husband. Can he feel at home in someone else's house? So there's the other side of the coin. And it's really a relative question. By far the best is to find a new residence, maybe not too far from the school, maybe not too far from their friends, so they could at least maintain contact.
This is a kind of a comprehensive, we're just going to touch on 4 things, but if you're planning a blended family and you have the privilege of starting at the right place, trying to get the ducks in a row ahead of time, let's look at these 4 points that you make. You start with faith, number 1.
It seemed to me that if you're a believer and your kids have been going to Sunday school and some have made a profession of faith, the first thing you want is someone who will be on the same wavelength spiritually. Can you visualize bringing into your family someone who is a stranger to the grace of God?
Library. Library?
Yeah, I suggest to people planning a second marriage, go to the library. There aren't too many books on it, but there are some. And you'll be amazed what things you can pick up by going through books on. And then, of course, look up other people who are in a second marriage. Or maybe go to one of the support groups in communities that have been organized for second marriages.
Always good. Whatever you're dealing with, finding
Yes.
others who are walking the same journey. And that really is point 3 and point 4. Talk to couples and support groups. You suggest inviting 4 to 6 couples into your home, meeting regularly,
Yes.
praying together,
Yes.
sharing your challenges together. Can make all the difference.
Can help maintain the unit.
And actually, well, guess what? All 4 of these planning options are covered off in this book because it's faith-centered, Christ-centered. It is a book to add to your library. It's 19 couples, real-life stories, and in a sense, it's your support group on paper.
That's right.
Not that you shouldn't get the real folks to walk you through the journey, but really, Dr. Starr, you've done that for us in a huge way in bringing these real-life situations to us. This book is a special offer, and we're so grateful that you could provide this for us, Dr. Starr.
Delighted to.
It's a limited offer. It's just today and tomorrow. And here is how to get your copy. It is a treasure we're offering to help you as you help us keep this great content flowing each day with your best ministry gift. You can call our toll-free number, 1-800-265-3100, or log on to crossroads.ca to place your order and to make a secure online donation. We're just delighted, just great that we can do this from time to time, and this isn't going away. It's just a real deal. I want to ask, you know, your family was busted up. Your other 2 siblings went to different places. I mean, it was a real tough one for you at 9.
9, yeah.
What was the biggest security or comfort? What was a positive in that difficult place for you as a little
I
boy?
was fortunate in that they took me to a great Sunday school in Cabbagetown, Jarvis Street Baptist Church. And there a teacher took me under his wings. And he was like a second father and his wife, the way they had me in for dinner and over weekends. And that was the thing that really got to me. It was the foundation for my faith.
And here you are, married 63 years. What a wonderful testament. We don't have to let our past determine our future. Timothy, thank you so much. And can I bring that page up one more time? Because it's only today and tomorrow. May I? I just want you to see again your copy of Help, I'm a Step-Parent, 1-800-265-3100, or crossroads.ca if you're online. And we'll just have one more little taste with Timothy tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you. And hey, guess what book is coming? Aging Joyfully. Will you come back with that one?
Be delighted to.
If you need prayer, we're here for you, and we'll be back.